You will have seen me harping on about the benefits of a 3-day full body workout split probably for the last year or so, and it's for good reason. This is the method that I think the overwhelming majority, I'm talking like 95% of the population, will get the best results from. It's the best return on your time. And I'm going to explain how I went from training probably 10 to 15 times a week to literally just 5 training sessions inclusive of my cardio, hobbies and other endeavours, and actually ended up getting way stronger and way better results because of that. Now, this all started at the tail end of June in last year. I'd just come off the end of a really harsh cut, and I was also training for marathons, half marathons at the same time. And for me, I almost lent into training as like an emotional crutch, right? I felt like I had a lot of energy I needed to get out, and the best way for me to express that was to train. So I would lift weights every single day. I was running like 3 to 4 times a week. I was hitting the bag like 2 or 3 times a week. And I was also trying to manage around about 50 clients at the time. Naturally, that got very difficult, and it was only a matter of time before all of that started to come to a head. And I come to Glastonbury Festival last year. I'd finished the cut, and the tail end of it, I was just completely burnt out. Like, I just felt like nothing was going up in the gym. I felt like me eating started going kind of out of sorts. Everything just felt off. I felt like I wasn't enjoying the areas of my job and my life that I had always enjoyed. And it led to me developing the system that we now know as the Ascend Project, which for me and my coaching has produced some of the best results, probably the best results that I have ever gotten with clients. And it's all down to them training like 50% less. The reason 3 full body days is the best option for most people is pretty simple. We see these 5 and 6 day splits where it's like back and biceps, chest and triceps, legs and shoulders, or push-pull legs twice through the week, right? We see them online from competitive bodybuilders. We see them online for people who are fitness influencers who are pretty much paid to be in shape year round. And obviously because they have a love of training, they're spending a hell of a lot of time in the gym. And we think that as people with normal everyday jobs that we should be able to go and replicate that, because that's what's getting those people great results. The first point I'm going to make is anyone who's in really good shape and is training 5 or 6 times a week with a good intensity and who is being paid to be a fitness influencer, there is a high likelihood that they are on steroids. A lot of them aren't, but a lot of them are. You are paid based off how good you look, how well you can lead people, and it's therefore financially incentivized to be absolutely massive and shredded year round, because you want to dupe your audience into thinking that they can get in that shape when they actually can't. We are not bodybuilders, okay? We are everyday people. We have jobs, we have hobbies, we might be trying to get a promotion, we might be trying to look after a family. There is not enough time in the week to be spending 6 to 7 hours per week in the gym for the majority of us without making a massive sacrifice for the amount of family time, hobby time, or even self-development time that we have, okay? And training 3 times a week has actually been a revelation for me. And the reason it's been a revelation is because I've just felt so much more motivated to lift weights. When I was training every single day, there was almost kind of this abundance mindset, but in a negative way. Like, I knew I had 6 sessions, so I would convince myself, you know, if 3 of them were shit and 2 of them were okay and 1 was really good, that was great. And since I've moved to training 3 times per week, every single session is great. And the reason for that is recoverability, okay? Most programs you'll see online are so stacked with volume that you physically cannot walk into the gym the next day because of the amount of just central fatigue that you have in your body and perform to the best of your ability. You're not having a day's rest between your sessions. And even if you're doing something like chest and tries one day and then you go to legs the next day, the simple matter of fact is we accrue a lot of fatigue in the body generally. So it doesn't matter whether you're hitting your chest. When you go to train legs the next day, you are not going to be able to recruit the same amount of muscle fibers because the central nervous system is tired, okay? It's fatigued. You're just not able to exert the same level of force as you would with a day's rest in between. And this is evident by the amount of insane transformations we've went and got in the Ascend project. People have come into the project having trained 6 times a week, and when I tell them to back off, they look at me like I've got like 3 heads. They're like, oh, well, don't I want more results? Like, shouldn't I be doing more? No, that's just not how the body works, okay? When we have those 3 distinct sessions where we're training maybe 1 to 2 movements per body part per session, we know we have to get the absolute max out of every single lift that we're doing, and it therefore forces us to be really, really efficient in our training. It's the same reason I really don't like body part splits, because we know we've got 5 or 6 chances to hit a certain muscle, and therefore we're probably going to hold back for like the first 3 or 4 movements if we want any chance of performing well on our favourite movement at the end of the session. I just don't think that a 5 or 6 day split is the best option for a lot of people, and certainly it's meant that my clients have been able to actually gain hours back of their life every single week by training less. The other big thing is that when we are only training 3 times per week, like I lift for 45 minutes per session, which means in total I'm spending about 2 hours 15 minutes in the gym, including warm-ups, lifting weights every single week. Every single session I am hitting a PB without fail, and I am on a harsh cut. Lots of coaches tell you that that's not possible. They say even when you are building or when you're in a calorie surplus that you're just not going to be hitting PBs every session. You will if you have smart programming. If you have good programming, if you are able to recover between your sessions, you should be showing some form of expression of progressive overload pretty much every single session without fail, and that's exactly what the guys inside Ascend see. But aside from that, 3 45-minute sessions means that we then have a little bit more space. And if for you, looking good is the only thing that matters, then that's great, because now you have more time to decompress, relax, chill with your family, partake in whatever hobbies that you've got as well. And that just means overall your recoverability is going to be even better, because you are just lowering your stress levels because you've got so much more time to yourself. But for me, as someone who really loves movement and who loves getting stuck into new things and being shit at things, it's meant that I can now box, I can do Muay Thai, and I can go on a run per week as well, without ever really feeling like I'm being overwhelmed by my training. It's taught me that sometimes I need to take my foot off the gas in terms of volume and really just go deep on the intensity of each and every set. People don't believe me, like a lot of my clients don't believe me when I say I only train 3 times a week. I have a coach, and my coach is similar to me. They prescribe very, very low volume but really, really high intensity work, and I therefore don't want to muddy the recipe, okay? I'll say this to all my clients: if I'm prescribing you 3 sessions a week, don't go and do 4 or 5, okay? Do what your coach tells you. I've done what my coach has told me, and I just feel a hell of a lot better for it. Like, there's not really any way I'd ever go to training 5 or 6 days a week again in the gym. I think the most I could ever push to is maybe 4, but 3 is just working so well for me right now that I've got absolutely no reason to be upping my training volume, because everything's going really, really well. The big message that I wanted to get across to clients as well inside the Ascend project is that life is more than the gym, right? For some of us, the gym is our identity. I am a coach, I'm a personal trainer. I fucking love training. I love everything about movement, about running, about getting better. It's absolutely great, but there come a point last year where training was literally the be all and end all of my life. I'd get home and I'd think about, right, I've got to go for a run, I've got to do this. If I only trained once in a day, that was a failure for me. I was like, fuck no, I feel like I need to get more in. And since incorporating a little bit more mindfulness and some of the systems that we use inside Ascend, like the frame shift system, like the 15-10-5 method, all of these things helped me realize that I needed to create an identity for myself that was outside of fitness and outside of being a coach, because that's all pretty much everything was in my entire life. And so since I took that step back and I started reading more, I started doing a bit more camping, going on a few more trips, started being able to go out and kind of let myself go a little bit more without thinking, what impact is this going to have on my training? Everything in life just got so much better, and it meant that I actually look forward to lifting and running and boxing, doing all these things a lot more than when I was cramming 10 to 15 sessions in per week. This is the split that has undeniably helped me and my clients so much more than any other approach that we've had in the past. And believe me, I've been through the ringer, I've been through every single training approach, and I feel like we've now finally landed on the one that is the sweet spot. It's just a perfect balance of absolutely everything. And some of the feedback I'm getting from the guys are like, you know what, this is great, like this is freeing up so much more of my time. I didn't think that I could ever look or feel like this from training so little. And it's really, really great, particularly in the summer. Like these summer months are about getting out, enjoying time with your friends, going to barbecues, doing this, doing that, and just having that space and that time and that freedom to be able to follow a, not less intense, because the training is much, much harder than what they've done before, but one that's less demanding of your free time is just so fucking liberating, and I could not recommend it enough. So if you want to know a little bit more about the inner workings of the Ascend project and how we do program and how we help guys with their mindfulness, how we help guys get unbelievable physical fucking fantastic results by training just 3 times per week, there's a couple of links in the description below of some free stuff that I've got available for you. I've also got a newsletter sign up link there where I drop my thoughts and ramblings pretty much every single day straight to your inbox for free. So if you want to know more about how we work, what I do, click the link below or any of the links below and get stuck in.